Hello. I'm trying to see. This has me tiny. If you can see me, let me know. Oh, now it's bigger. Okay. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. I am coming live tonight to talk about day one of the 7-day challenge. I'm going to try to do the lives at the end of the day to kind of talk about what went on during the day. So hopefully this format works for you. So I just wanted to go over a couple things with the challenge to think about. So the whole point of the 7-day challenge is to practice our preparedness stuff so that we can, um, not be as intimidated if a real emergency happens. So I make up scenarios. I have done this for 13 years, so there's not a lot of different scenarios you can come up with at this point. So I try to do things, and they may not always be that realistic, or they may not even be applicable to you. Like maybe it's a hurricane and you're like, I live in the desert. So you have to remember, don't stress, don't obsess over what the actual scenario is. All that matters is the tasks and limitations, because probably, if it's a hurricane and it knocks the power out, probably there could be some other emergency that would apply to you that the power was out. So try to remember that. So with the gas leak, a lot of people try to say, well, I'll just turn my gas off and I'll be fine. So yes, you could possibly do that, but there could also be a gas leak that's in your yard. That actually happened to me, and the power company or the gas company knocked on my door and said, you need to leave your house right now. And that was that. Like I had not have a choice to turn off my gas. I didn't know if there was going to be a fire. When I got back, I was terrified. And we couldn't use our car because we couldn't open the garage door and we couldn't ignite our engine. We couldn't turn out lights, nothing. So it actually is a legitimate scenario. But again, like maybe that's never going to happen to you. But is there going to be a time when maybe you might need to evacuate? Maybe you have a house fire. So the whole point is to go through the exercise and not stress too much about the actual scenario, and give me a little grace, because it is hard to come up with scenarios every single year. So that being said, every day is going to be different. I am going to try to send the scenarios out in the middle of the morning. In previous years, I've sent it overnight, and I feel like then it kind of trickles in with people getting started, and it's not as fun this year. Like doing it in kind of mid-morning seemed really good. Like everybody kind of got it at the same time and could get started and talk about it right away, and that was really fun. So it gives you a little bit of a breather first thing in the morning, and then once you get the scenario, then you can work on it for the rest of the day. So that's kind of what I'm going to try this year. We'll see if it works. Okay, so we are going to talk about giveaways. So I did do a giveaway for people sharing the challenge, and so the prize for that was a copy of my Food Storage Made Easy book. I didn't bring it. 1 second, I'll grab one. I love watching a live with the person not there. So print copy of our book. We have this available in ebook or physical copy. And the winner of that is Janice Neufeld. She's from Alberta, Canada. So I will be sending this to Canada. Takes a couple weeks to get there, but I will reach out to you on Facebook to get your address and send that off to you. So congratulations, Jana. And I'm going to talk about the giveaway. So each day I'm going to try to do a giveaway based on something that would have been helpful for you in that day's emergency. So let's talk about today and evacuating. So I made this cute little chart. I hope you guys printed it. If you're watching and you were able to get this, raise your hand in the comments. Sometimes I can never see comments in here, but if you're watching it later, you can do that too. So I tried to separate this in terms of priority, because so for our challenge we had 5 minutes, but you might have an hour. I don't know, if it's a fire you might have 30 seconds. So the idea is to have a list that you go down so in order. And actually there was a funny comment today. It was from my cousin. She was like, I think I would spend 3 minutes scrambling around in a panic before I actually even started collecting stuff. So then you only have 2 minutes left to actually collect your items, right? So hopefully having a list written out will avoid that panic. So you just kind of go into automatic mode and say, oh, I got to go down my list. boom, 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 boom. And you know exactly what you're going to grab depending on the scenario. So the way I split it up is kind of like people and pets. So this is like non-negotiable. You're going to take your child out of the house, right? You're going to take your pets out of the house. So where it gets iffy is we have 2 hamsters and a snake, and I kind of was talking to my kids, and I'm like, in a real emergency, I don't know if they're gonna make the cut. Like, it's terrible, but they have big cages. Like, I was like, maybe if the hamsters could go in their bowl. It was actually a tough conversation with the kids. But the dog, I'm gonna put him on a leash and bring him. So that is something to think about. Um, Possibilities for, or maybe you get like some carrying cases. Some people were saying they never thought to need a carrying case for their cats, but what if you're evacuating like far away? You might need that. So people and pets, and kind of what goes along with this is like necessities for your people and pets. So a little bit of dog food, maybe if you need contact lenses, medications. If you have a baby, you're going to need diapers or formula, things like that. So a lot of those could be in a disaster kit or your 72-hour kit, but that's another consideration. So I have survival as this smaller section here. I actually was going through this with my husband today, and we're kind of trying to think, like, when would you evacuate and need a disaster kit? Like for this gas leak scenario, like you can leave and go to a neighbor's house, or you can go to McDonald's for dinner, or you can go to Walmart and buy new clothes. Like you don't really need like 3 days of survival stuff. Now, if there was an EMP or a nuclear attack and you had to like get out of Dodge and leave for who knows how long, who knows where, and everybody's in a state of emergency, yeah, you're going to want to have 3 days of survival stuff. But probably some of the other scenarios, a lot of times like house fires or wildfires are a big evacuation thing, or a flood. And so a lot of times in those situations, they might not be that necessary. You might not need to grab your tent because you can just go to a hotel, right? So I have survival down here, which if it's a survival type of disaster, yes, you're going to want to grab that. That's going to be important. But in terms of today, like we did not grab our full 72-hour kits. We did not grab tents and sleeping bags and all that stuff. Okay, and then the middle section is documents. I kind of consider this the like would be really sucky to have to replace things. So you're gonna have like your birth certificates, your social security cards, your wallet, your checkbook, all those kinds of important things that are gonna be really annoying to replace. And then sentimental is things that you can't replace. So different people, my husband kind of said like he would do documents first, and I kind of said, but you can still get a new birth certificate, but you can't get like that one picture of your great grandma that like it's the only copy that exists. So that's debatable. So I kind of think like your top priority things for each category should almost be equally important. And then you can go down the list and do the less important stuff. So some of the sentimental things I feel like are your family history, old journals. Some people have like a set of scriptures that they have a lot of their own personal notes in, things like that. For me, my flute is actually, I know I can buy a new flute, but that flute is really special to me because I was going far. It's been to Europe with me. It's played in Carnegie Hall. Like, yes, I could replace it, but it would be very sad for me. So, but you know, so put it accordingly on the list. Like, is it easier to get a new flute than it is to get a new marriage certificate? Probably. It's all more expensive to get a new flute. So. Anyways, so that's kind of how I separated this. You can make it your own. You can make a copy of your own, or if you want, I can try to send you the file and you can edit it. But hopefully it just kind of gets you in the right mindset as you're thinking about your list for evacuation. And then it also really greatly depends, like if you're going to do car or on foot, because I've got bins of like scrapbooks and stuff that I want to throw in a car. I have extra food and water that I would grab if it was a survival type emergency. But if I'm evacuating on foot, like none of that is going to be able to come with me. And so There's other things you can do on your list. You can check off, you can put like a sticker or something if it's like only take this if you can take your car, and you can also put like initials, so who's gonna get what. So I kind of told my kids like, okay, you get like these things and then you can try to figure out how to get your pet out of here. So it was cute. Someone on the page said that their little kid brought his like dinosaur plushie. Like, that's good. Have kids think of something that would be, that could be a really comforting item in an emergency, that they have their stuffed animal or their blankie or their binky. So it's a really good exercise to do as a family, to see what things they would actually want to grab. I know when my dad was growing up, his family had a house fire, total loss. Their grand piano like crashed through the floor, like they were all watching. It was traumatizing, and in that emergency, his sister ran back and grabbed her contact lenses and a picture of her boyfriend. She didn't even end up marrying. It's like, you risked your life for these things, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So all of that is kind of what we went through today. I hope you guys actually went through the motions of collecting this, because 5 minutes is really short. You can't get through much of your list. So our giveaway for today, so if you go on and do the exercise, if you didn't do it today, you can still do it tomorrow morning if you want. But I'm going to give away a copy of my favorite thing for evacuations. This is my emergency binder that I use. It's a Prepare My Life planner. So in this has all of my documents. So the first section has all of my, it's got all the documents in here, my passports, birth certificates, social securities, but then it also has sections for all your insurance stuff, all your titles for cars, your deeds, your everything. Health insurance, everything you could need. If there's a fire, you grab this. It has a handle. It's one thing. So basically that whole middle column is in this book. So maybe I could throw an extra checkbook in there, then I'd really have everything. So anything that I would not want to have to replace, that would be a pain to replace, lives in this binder. And you can keep it in a fireproof safe. So if there's a fire, your stuff's safe. But then it's also easy to grab and go if there's an emergency. So that is the giveaway. So to enter, share on Facebook or on Instagram and tag me, or post in the group, so that we can see how you did with day 1, and then I'll announce the winner for that tomorrow. If you're interested in just buying one, I can put the link down there. So Deb, you're asking how you'd sign up for that. So I'll show you a link for it. And I do have instructions on how to make your own, but I love just how this all zips, because I used to have my own that I made just out of a regular 3-ring binder, and all my papers would fall out of it all the time. I guess you could tape them or something, but. And this one actually walks you through like your whole emergency plan. It's a really, really fabulous product. So that's the giveaway. If you have any questions about day 1, feel free to leave them in the comments here. It should be in your email if you're signed up. If you're not signed up, go to foodstoragemadeeasy.net/7day, D-A-Y, 7day. And you can sign up for the emails there, but I also do post it on Facebook. I post it on the Instagram, and then it's on the blog, foodstoragemadeeasy.net/blog. So there's lots of places to find each day's challenge. And like I said, I'm going to try to send them out mid-morning. It depends where you live. So it will be around like 11 or 12 here Eastern time, so a little earlier on the West Coast. So if you guys have questions, let me know. And also, one last thing, I would love to see pictures. So everyone did an awesome job explaining how they did today. I love seeing pictures. So I need to do better about posting my own pictures too, because it's really fun to kind of see everyone going through the scenarios. So maybe bonus points into the giveaway if you post a picture. You could post a picture of your grab list, or if you actually evacuated and snap a picture of how it went. That would be awesome to see. So that's all for tonight. I hope you guys have a great sleep and are ready to have day 2 of the challenge tomorrow. If you haven't done one of these in the past, I do kind of try to do like a little bit harder days mixed in with a little bit of easier days. So, so you're not like going without power and water for 4 days in a row or something. We have to live our lives, right? Anyways, okay. Well, thanks for checking in with me live. Maybe I'll go a little bit earlier tomorrow. I know it's super late for some people. So we'll catch up with you guys in the morning when we see what day 2 has in store. Surprise! Have a good night. Bye.